torrential rainstorm occurring outside. It could be the end of everything. So take your last few moments, spend them with us. It's important. You go into the great beyond. You want to take with you warm, happy feelings that you got from being in here with us. So here we go, boys. It's kind of a loaded mandate for us today to give people their eternal happiness, but that's who we are. That's how we operate.
Well, I'm perhaps before our next session, I might have a new Mac whatever.
Really?
Yeah, I got to. It's doing funny things, so suggestions right now. M1, M2, M3, M4.
I think your only choice is an M4. You just want to make sure you spend the extra money, get lots of storage. And you'll automatically get 16 gigs of memory now, finally, which is all you need.
Okay.
Because you're not running all kinds of stuff all at the same time.
Memory.
That'll be fine.
Storage is what, 256?
Well,
you want double that, 512?
I think probably. What's your current storage? Is it 256?
I don't know.
We'll have a look, and then you should just double it.
Double it.
Because I'll bet you're using close to 256 already.
Then can I get rid of my Google iCloud subscription?
Are you using the cloud to kind of offload stuff?
I think so.
Yeah, I definitely want to get it so you don't, you'll still use the cloud kind of as a one form of backup, but you also want to have everything on your machine, and that, yeah.
And I've been using Simply Computing. I kind of like going in there. Should I go to Best Buy instead? What do you say, RJ?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the Apple Store is good too. The Apple Store, you bring in your old one and they'll transfer it for you, no charge.
Well, it simply does that.
Okay. Well, give Simply the business. Just make sure you get lots of storage.
And I'm going to buy the extended warranty.
Yeah, because you've had bad luck with them.
Because I've had bad luck.
Might be a good idea.
It's part of their long-range profit plan.
Yes, I know. I know, but
I normally counsel against those, but it might be partially just smoke and stuff, right? From the shed, maybe.
Bingo.
Could be a little gunk in the works.
Bingo. Or I could quit smoking and save that kind of money too. Good then.
So 3 days ago.
A day that will live in infamy for some reason? Is that...
Yeah, my iMac 27-inch
Oh.
just froze up hard, everything. Like, you don't usually get that anymore, where there's no mouse, no app switcher, nothing. So I did the restart, and then sometimes she would boot, sometimes she wouldn't, and then finally she just wouldn't.
Yeah,
nothing.
That sounds very familiar.
A folder with a question mark blinking. That means there's just no drive there to see. So,
what year is it?
It's 2019, and I planned on waiting till next year to buy a new computer. There's some hot rods coming out next year, plus it's a 7-year cycle. That's my rule, right? So it's the 6-year mark. So I put everything onto here. So this is my main computer now, and it's got only 1 terabyte, and the hot rod, the iMac 27-inch has 2 terabytes, and it's just a lot of work because I can't just I just copy it all over. Just don't worry about it. I had to do I already have an ID on here, and it just kind of works, and I got stuff in the cloud so I can fit it all into 1 terabyte, but it's in a different configuration than the old one. So next thing you know, I'm restoring just a few folders here and there and moving stuff around and having issues. And
there really are certain situations where ignorance is bliss. And that is one of them. Not understanding what on earth is going on behind the scenes irks me because I think it's deliberate. But at the same time, man, I'm never going to invest in understanding
as long as you have as much storage as your old machine, then you're
pretty much okay.
Yeah, it's always...
This says storage. It says 59 gigs available of 499 gigs.
Okay, so I would say you should actually go to 1 terabyte mob.
1 terabyte.
Yep. And that will cost you.
What?
Yeah, it'll be an extra $400 or something like that. But yeah, don't screw around. Just go for it.
Frickin' frick.
Too bad about your Mac, though. I tell you, I still miss that great big giant display.
My God.
I really.
So do I.
My machine is great. I love the machine I'm running, but
yeah,
I do miss that big gigantor display.
Oh yeah. Got something for you guys. couple episodes back, we talked about the WD-40 straws, and I told you in the episode on the recording, I'm saying I'm going to bring you some, and then I forgot all about it.
Because
but when I heard the episode, I put these in my bag.
Because you felt that 50 was too many?
I brought them. I brought them last week. No, you guys were supposed to be just amazed and so happy about this.
I am.
I am. But what I thought was very funny, though, was that anybody anywhere is going to order like 50 of those WD-40 spray straws. Like,
Go around the house, put one in every single one, and don't forget the little clips built into the lids.
Yeah. These are stocking stuffers, man.
yeah, that's exactly right. Oh, no, that's cool. Thanks, RJ. That is really cool.
You bet.
So, listeners, just, in case, I hate to waste your time because I know you've listened avidly and with great dedication to every episode ever recorded. So you will remember that conversation. But for the few of you who've just come in from whatever rock, quite a while ago, RJ decided that he had cans of WD-40 around the house and he'd lost the spray straws for them. And you can order those on the interweb through Amazonia, I think. Only they come in bags of like 50.
Minimum order.
You sort of think to yourself, am I ever gonna on this planet go through 50 cans of anything, basically? Never mind WD-40. Still, here we go.
Well, you could consider them one use.
Oh, yeah. Only spray pure WD-40
and
into
then
that
just chuck
nasty
'em.
mess that you're trying to clean up. Woo. Water dispersant 40. Isn't that what this WD's for? I think it is.
Oh, I wouldn't. Yeah, I think I did not know that, but
I
that
did
makes
not know
sense.
that.
Yeah.
I just heard it somewhere.
Just
the
a
other day.
reminder that it's not a lubricant.
Yeah.
Won't stop me using it as a lubricant.
Nope, me either.
Me either.
Not the Vice Grip Garage guy, not anybody. Hey, though, speaking sort of somewhat related to the computer conversation, I heard a thing last night on my family FaceTime with my siblings. My sister had a credit card get reported suspicious activity. So she spent like months going through everything, transferring, everything where there was an auto deduction made from that credit card, auto payment made off that credit. And one of my brothers spoke up and said, well, when that happened to me, they just did it all automatically. They just issued me a new credit card and they swapped all the stuff. And we were all amazed. I'm still kind of gobsmacked. Like, how did they know?
So being that, I pay my FIDO automatically from my credit card. So my credit card issuer would notify FIDO somehow behind the scenes, and FIDO would change the number.
Yeah, I guess. I thought that is a service I would pay a yearly fee for because
Oh, they changed.
they just swapped it all behind the scenes. He got a new credit card and all the crap that was being drawn against his old credit card was now being drawn from his new one.
Wow.
Just poof, like magic.
Wow, because
Oh, I know. It's a hassle, man.
it's a hassle.
I went through it about a year ago with mine when mine was done.
What card was it?
I didn't ask him, sorry. Because he lives in North Carolina. Like, what am I?
It'll be a US card.
It's not going to help.
Who lives there?
But still, listeners, if you hear about that service being available here in Canadadia from some Canadian provider, let us know because
Snap it up.
I would be interested in following up on that.
Did you notice the work out front? Both of you didn't.
I had parked way up
I
the street. I didn't notice anything.
I just saw the nice.
It's all just dug. The whole front yard is a big hole with drainage. And Skinny, you might be interested. There's a It's cat wheelbarrow out there.
Oh.
And they've rigged motorized an electric wheel onto it. They've done it themselves.
Oh, well, I'll have to look at that.
You do.
If I can get a picture, listeners, you will see it on the website because
You can get a picture.
I don't think there's anybody out there listening who has pushed a wheelbarrow who hasn't wished. So back in the day, you could get those wheelbarrows that had gasoline motors on them and they had four wheels and
That's what I thought they're going to bring.
they're just bulky and hard to use in
And
narrow
noisy.
spaces and noisy. And this is somebody just took a regular 3-point wheelbarrow, like a wheel in the front and two, and stuck a motor on it somehow.
That's a great idea.
This is the same guy that rigged his mountain bike to pop wheelies with an electric motor. Same guy.
And they talk to each other about range. They go, yeah, I got really long range. Yeah, but your bucket's like 1 gallon.
Yeah,
This is all battery. Right?
I could go all day. I had to give up half my bucket space for battery.
Hey, it's got reverse.
Whoa, that's important. That's
Well,
important. You gotta wheel them and deck them.
I better talk to not a listener about this because he's got a mountain bike whose motor is giving him endless trouble. He's going to have to give up on it.
Yeah.
But if he can make that motor work, just not in a mountain bike, he still has a house with a yard that he does stuff in. So, he could be the guy.
Yeah.
I got to get a look at that on my way out.
I'm surprised that that's not just commercially available now. I'll bet you it is. I'll bet you
it is.
Should we steal the march and declare it $1 million idea? Like, I know it's somebody else's idea, but let's.
Yeah.
Because that guy's we're the guys who get things off the ground here with our vast reach and exposure.
That's right.
Think of all the ideas we've suggested that are out there making money right now.
Well, speaking of heavy rain, whenever I drive past, you're driving along the street, right? Today, it happened to me. I'm in the left-hand turn lane, and why is my wheel in a puddle? I've never really thought about it. It's just puddles. There are puddles in the road.
Yeah.
I don't think about, why are there puddles in the road?
Yeah.
And the reason there's puddles in the road is because there are drains everywhere, right? All the city has drains everywhere, but drains plug up.
Yeah.
And that's why me and Skinny have been watching a YouTube channel called Bruce from Drain Cleaning Australia.
God,
have you been watching that?
I watched it today. I just watched that first one.
They're awesome.
Bob's your mother's brother.
Oh, it's a ripper. It's a little ripper.
He's funny. This gives me goosebumps. I get goosebumps when I see that.
Where would you rather be, in a spinny chair or out here? I'm living the life, man. Meanwhile, he's cleaning grease traps and just all kinds of disgustulate and.
So there's
awesome.
There's more episodes than
there's dozens.
Infinity.
All he does is go around and he'll just see a pool of water somewhere and he'll just go up and offer to clear it for free.
For a YouTube channel.
I think he makes way more money off the YouTube channel than what you would charge.
Views, right?
Yeah, he's got about 360,000 subscribers and he gets about $1 million per episode. He does have a business. It is his actually legit livelihood to go around and clear drains for money.
Drain Cleaning Australia.
Yeah, there you go. But he is also the guy that just pulls over and, he gets the leaves. And as he's doing it, he records it. I don't know how he does it exactly, just probably mounted on his head. And he just goes on and on about how, he just stops short of suggesting capital punishment for people that throw litter out of their cars in parking lots. He just stops short.
Because half the time it's just litter that's clogged up some drain somewhere, right?
It's really awesome. I'm spending a lot of time sitting at the kitchen table looking at YouTube. And as I sit at the kitchen table looking at YouTube, I constantly graze. If you're the kind of person who spends their downtime just mindlessly eating, you should watch the Australian Drain Cleaning channel because that'll make you not have snacks. That'll make you think twice about sticking anything in your mouth. It's just really fun, though.
It's the size of a chihuahua.
It's a greaseberg.
I've seen one episode so far where he lost his absolute bubbling enthusiasm. Like you could hear him struggling to keep up the pretense of really super enjoying himself. But in every other one, he sounds very genuine about really enjoying what he's doing.
Yeah. He says, let's try this. Oh, I've got another idea.
Let's get Mr. Plungy out.
He likes using all his tools, he likes trying them all. Instead of just going straight to the nuclear solution, he's just like, try this, try that.
It's very excellent. And, on top of all of that, you get to learn something about how that stuff even works.
Yeah.
And you get to see some sort of amazing stuff.
I like his constant references to how great his job is.
Yeah.
And it is, right? Yeah. Like he's going to do this kind of work. He knows what he's doing. He's got puzzles to solve.
Yeah.
And then at the end of it all, you get that.
Yeah.
The look of the water draining down.
Yeah.
You could drink that. No, you couldn't.
One time he panned his camera up and there's this beautiful jet airplane flying through the sky. And he says, look at all the people on there. They're all they're heading home. They've had a nice vacation, but they're getting miserable because they got to go to work. Not me, not here.
Yeah.
He's talking about how they got to all go work in offices.
Every episode he mentions spinny chairs.
Like all anybody ever does that works in an office is sit in the chair and spin it around.
Spinny chairs.
Where would you rather be? On a spinny chair in an office or out here with me? I'm
And
living
the fact
dream.
that his name is Bruce is just classic.
Yeah.
G'day, Bruce.
So there you go. RJ, that was an awesome find. I don't know how you came up with that one, but that's the
Kate,
best.
Kate McKinnon was being interviewed
Oh, right.
of SNL, and
Right.
she was asked, so what do you do these days? I really like watching Bruce.
Yeah.
The drain clean. She says it's drain cleaning Australia. So that's where I got it from.
Well, it does make you wonder about the monetization scheme. I always wonder about that with YouTube. Like RJ, I believe you suggested the guy's probably making more money off YouTube than his real job.
Oh, yeah.
But I just have no idea about, like, if you get 100,000 subscribers, do you buy a Lambo or are you just maybe upgrading your barbecue? If you get to 350,000, like, I just have no idea, right?
Yeah.
And I'd like to know. I'd like for Bruce to talk about it, but they must be constrained about talking about that business because they hardly ever do.
All right. You guys want to do listener mail?
I really want to do this.
Uncle Mike from Roslyn says, "Hi, kids. Your latest dive into Chat GPT bugs me. Please watch the video to see another view. Love you guys, Mike." So he loves us, hates
Our work.
our thoughts, but he loves us. And Uncle Mike sends a YouTube video, which I watched and will provide a link to, and it was pretty entertaining. It was Casey Neustat. Is that the name of the guy? He's a YouTuber, and he's talking about Sora, which is the latest tool that all the kids are using. And you just tell Sora a few words, and Sora builds a video for you. And it's pretty fascinating. If you guys...
I did watch the video, yeah, and I'm dying to hear your thoughts because I had a few.
Yeah. Well, first thing you have to do is scan yourself 3D mode, and it doesn't take long. You take your little iPhone or your smartphone, and you start recording and move it around your head. I think you got to turn maybe 360 so it gets a view of you from the back. And then from then on, it's got a 3D model of you that it can animate and put into all these really amazing or scary or whatever situations. And so...
Wow. I'll say it right now. I don't even... That's just wow.
Yeah. And, I think he's all concerned about how little effort it is in the creative process now, maybe. He talks about in history, you have to go back, you'd have to write a script, you'd have to get someone to hold the camera for you, you'd have to do a huge amount of work to do this. And he talks about how it's super easy. The cost barrier to entry is zero now pretty well. And that's a good thing in one way, but another way he's all worried about. I'm not sure exactly what he's worried about. What is he worried about, Skip?
He's worried about how convincing a lot of the stuff it produces appears to be and how it could easily be misused, to mislead, to defraud, all kinds of stuff, to create false evidence. All the stuff.
Yeah, there will be like an arms race, of course. There is an arms race already in terms of creating this stuff or detecting that it's fake. And it is scary, for sure. A lot of fun, though.
We're not all doom and gloom here.
No, but I mean, we have to be for a moment. Speaking about the dangers, we've talked about the use of the chatbots as they're called LLMs, large language models. If you hear about LLMs, that's like ChatGPT. So something that is apparently not really working out very well. We talked about how they never want to disagree with you.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Yeah, and that's still there. And in the analyst ones, where all of them can work as analysts, you're talking about your troubles, right? And you're going, sometimes I just feel like ending it all or whatever. And you say that to them, and they have a habit of trying to agree with you.
Yeah.
Right?
They're made
so
to
they
agree
might say, well, that might be one solution.
Yeah.
No, seriously. There have been known suicides from kids.
I don't doubt that for a minute, because when we talked about this, you gave us a couple of examples from your own checking around that made it clear that they are programmed to be amenable to your line of thought, no matter what.
Yeah.
First thing, make sure you're on the guy's side.
And it seems to be a problem to not have them not do that. It seems to be something intrinsic to LLMs, makes it really hard to train the LLM not to just agree with what you've said, because They just treat what you've said as yet another input.
Yeah.
They just pull it in.
Doesn't make moral judgments at all.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's kind of, I think it might go along the same lines as, that's maybe a bit of a reach, but at the beginning of this year, Zuckerberg announced that Facebook was not going to be trying to manage, edit, control, contain anything to do with truth or fiction in postings on Facebook, right? Just getting out of that business. And my thought was, as usual, very cynical. It's because they don't want to be liable for stuff they don't catch. And they also don't want to offend the current administration of the United States with a lot of fact checking on a lot of their followers' posts.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I kind of wonder if what's going on with AI is the same sort of thing. You know, we're not in the business of fact checking stuff. We just present stuff for people. We don't pretend to present things that are 100% correct. It's just we go fishing through the waters, and whatever we catch, we give to you. And it's your job to sort through it.
But can it be trained for critical thinking?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, that's probably a whole other thing as well. Like a moral judgment thing is pretty hard to program that in a consistently successful way.
Yeah,
because there's all kinds of different morals.
It'd have to be an entirely different thing because LLMs just ingest a huge amount of text, and then when you ask them a question, they look at statistically what's the first word that would follow that question or a question like it, and maybe the word is the, and then they go statistically what would be the first word that would follow the word the after having followed all that question, and they go the thing, you know, right? Anyway, they basically build these things one word or maybe one phrase at a time.
Yeah.
And it's just like a parlor trick. And
So you can't actually teach AI then. AI is just teaching.
It's just harvesting what's there.
Yeah, you can teach AI, but you can't teach LLMs, which is a subgroup inside AI. And LLMs are the ones that talk to you.
I don't think I knew that. I think I missed that. But okay.
Yeah, but I mean, we've talked
now,
maybe years ago. We talked about neural networks that that do learn, like from I don't know. You give them a bunch of videos and you ask it, "Hey, where's the human in this video?" And the neural network will say, "There," and it'll point at a fire hydrant. And you say no, and you say no, and it ingests that. And then they run another test, and you run about 100,000 tests. And by the end of it, it always knows where the person is. And that's how these cameras work that say, hey, I saw a pet. I drove home the other day and the garage door opened and I got a notification, vehicle in driveway and dog barking. And Took's excited because I got home and he's roof, roof.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's a neural network. It's learned how to hear a dog barking or how to see a vehicle just simply through training.
What a time
But that's
we're living
nothing
in.
to do with an LLM that talks to you about stuff.
Well, just not to get too sidetracked, but will it send you a note if he just starts barking his fool head off in the house for some other reason, like a burglar coming in through the back window? Will it send you a note, say dog barking in the house?
Yes, but the problem is the garage door needs to be open for it to hear it because this camera's outside.
Well, say really
So
barked hard.
let's say I had a nanny cam inside, it would totally tell me when Took's barking. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yes, everything, everywhere, all at once, though. Everything's just accelerating like crazy. That's been building for quite a while. And how about KJ Reports? Got anything there?
Yes, I do.
Let's hear it.
The first one is the Jessies. Just happened on Monday. Don't you know?
Oh.
The Jessie Awards, which are the theater awards. You might say BC. No. They're the biggest theater awards in BC, but it's just for Vancouver theater.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, that kind of begs the question of, is there theater in the rest of the province that
There
is
is some.
outside the high school level? You know, like there was the Rosslyn Light Opera. Are they eligible to win a Jessie, do you think?
no, they're not. Yeah, it's just Vancouver. Anyway, Susan was nominated for Burning Mom, which is
Nice.
her one-woman show that she did at the Arts Club. And so she was nominated for that. And she's actually doing Burning Mom right now in Victoria at the Belfry, but it's not the same production. It's exactly the same show with the same director and most of the same creative team but it's a Belfry production. It's not the Arts Club production. So it's pretty rare that you are nominated for something that you're actually in, because it's usually last season, right?
Right, yeah.
So it's pretty rare. So anyway, Susan's in the show. Monday's her day off, as is they have the awards on Monday because so that the theater people can go to the awards, right? Because usually anybody who's in a show is usually working.
Yeah.
Any other day. So Susan flies over. The family gets together. We go out to dinner. We go to the awards. However, that afternoon, Monday, I have a Susan McFarlane alert in my Gmail.
Gotcha.
Right? I also have a Kevin McNulty one. I get lots of Kevin McNultys because it's a very common name. Susan McFarlane, Sussinn, is not very common.
No, it's got to be the only one.
Now, let me just tell you what I see. Let's say 2:30. The awards are at 7. At 2:30 in the afternoon, Google Alert, Susan McFarlane, right? And the blue headline, which you would click to get into the story, says, Arts Club and Touchstone Theatre lead winners at Jesse Richardson Theatre Awards -Stir, which is where it's the magazine, Stir magazine, I think. So this is 2:30 in the afternoon.
Before the award ceremony.
Before the awards.
Before the Price Waterhouse guys come up with their sealed envelopes that nobody knows the answer to.
And guys are hurling themselves off bridges in Vegas because they're still taking bets for the results this evening.
Going on in this little email, the opening is, the company also celebrate.
So you found out that she won before she actually won.
Yes. And it said, the original one said, so-and-so wins Best Lead Performer in a Drama. Susan McFarlane took ... And I'm thinking, took the award for, like, what does took mean? I'm thinking, she won. She won. So I did actually in my head think, can I bet on this somehow? And I thought, how many people know this? Because and if you click on the blue forwarding thing, it goes to 404 error.
Not found.
Yeah, this isn't there anymore.
You wanted to find out what's in there.
Yeah.
You click on it. Somebody said, take it down, take it down.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, well, how many people saw this? Because I have an alert, but I was just talking to Lucy today, and she says all actors probably have an alert on their names, right? So anybody who was nominated.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I could put an alert on my name and it'll kick in every 20 years or so.
Yeah, same. It's just, I probably have an alert and I haven't seen it.
I'll be waiting for my alert, and finally there'll be this lonely computer sitting there. Funeral of Richard J. Tench finally comes up, right?
Richard Tench of Larawa, Australia, has caught the biggest perch on record.
You'd be surprised how many people are. Well, you guys aren't that uncommon. Your names.
Well, mine. There's a Patty, or Pat, in Vernon.
There's about 10 of me worldwide, maybe.
Yeah, there's not very many.
Anyway, so I'm going to dinner with the kids. I'm thinking, oh, this is just the greatest news. And then on the way there, I thought, no, I'm not going to tell them.
I think that's a real good idea to not say anything.
Yeah, because, and I'm a little bit pissed off that I know, because, I mean, I was sort of excited in a kind of a weird, betting way or something. But
I've got a secret.
But, and of course, it's one of the bigger awards, so it's at the end of the evening. So, and so I didn't say anything. But the first thing I said when we get into the car to go down, I said, so you've been working on your speech? She said, no, I'm not going to win.
Did you say, I'm feeling lucky?
Wow.
I tried to be
This is so cool.
very diplomatic about it. Well, I said, yeah, it doesn't matter. But I mean, let's say you did win. Who'd you thank? And I said, the first thing I said, well, of course, you're going to thank your ex-husband, me, because I spent 11 weeks running lines with you, right? So make sure you mention me.
Yeah.
And then who else? Blah blah. So
this is so much fun.
We drive down, meet the kids down at Tap and Barrel. Guys, kids, who should Susan mention in her acceptance speech? And she's still going, "Oh, stop it. And so we have a great big conversation about, and it gets funny and ridiculous, of course, but we were just having a riot. And then so we go and oh my God, it was bad. So they haven't had the Jessies for 3 years. It canceled 3 years for COVID. So there's just been no awards. So this is the first time back.
Oh.
So it's a sort of fresh, and
It's a long time to wait.
nobody spends any money. Well, I think you have to go see all the shows,
Right.
right? So what they did is they split it into, it's usually between theater and young people's theater. So you only had to do, if you were young people's theater, that's all you had to see. But otherwise, you're seeing absolutely everything. So they split it into large theater, medium theater, small theater, young people's theater. So you only have to do so much, right? And that's actually large budget, medium budget, small budget.
It's kind of funny that they think of this as work. I mean, these are shows you get to go see, right?
Yeah, but some people were going like 5 nights a week, and
Oh, really?
they wanted
Oh.
some time off. Anyway, it was not a very good show. I mean, the opening number, which was actually great, it was a musical number, 2 high tenors doing this duet. I think they wrote the song, but one guy goes out with a mic on a cable, and the other guy has a handheld, and the guy with the mic on the cable, you could see as he walked towards center stage, the cable going up, like so he's the opening number was great, and then it just fell apart after that. But then they set up the mics, and this cable was still going up to the mic, but it was above the ground. Like, so people were going around it, and the lights was not. Anyway, finally, 2 actors out of the audience ran up and just yanked. There's 2 cables by this time. Yanked them just to pull them, and that's all. They didn't have a budget for some techie backstage.
Yeah.
Anyway, but somewhere in the middle of the first act, Susan gets a text from somebody who sees tons of theater. Congratulations! I hear you. And she said, "Well, I don't know who you were talking to." She says, "Sandy." She just congratulated me. I think, oh, imagine that. She must
What's
be
going
cool,
on
cool.
there, I wonder.
Anyway, and then she won.
How did Sandy find out? Have you?
Well, because all sorts of people knew. I just found this out from Lucy today, because it must have been up, like from noon to when I saw it, kind of. Like it was up for a little while.
Okay.
And so a lot of people did see it. Jamie King, a young director, Gang of Lucy, changed her outfit because she knew she wasn't going to win. She said, "That's going to be too sparkly if I don't win." When I don't win, because she knew, right? There was all
Right.
sorts
Boy,
of
oh
people.
boy, that's
Okay, so this is the amateurish production.
No kidding.
In many ways, including somebody was in charge of doing the press release.
No. It's the Sun. The Vancouver Sun let it out.
Oh, so Vancouver
Everybody-
Sun is told in advance, but please
all
don't.
the press is given so that they can drop it as soon as the show ends.
Oh.
So they did a little boo-boo and released it early.
Sun. Like all 8 people left in the Vancouver Sun office.
Yeah.
One of them screwed up.
Yeah. So anyway, I will maybe tomorrow, I'm going to write a little letter to the editor, but it'll be actually to the editor, not just for publication.
So was there much merriment among the family about everybody being so coy before the actual?
Well,
like,
yes,
at
because
some point it must have come out that you knew and you were trying to keep it a secret.
well, after it happened,
Yeah.
but the kids didn't know all the way up,
I
right?
know, but there must have been a bunch of laughing about, geez, I wondered why you were pushing us so hard on what we were wearing and who we were going to thank.
There was, yeah. Oh, so that's why you were coaching me. Oh,
And how was her
oh.
speech?
Oh, it was great. It was fabulous. And she did thank me rather well
Oh, it's too
early
bad
on.
Too bad she didn't say, I just want to thank my ex-husband, Kevin. And I don't know why, but for some reason, he was just all over me about getting ready for this. That's too bad.
So, yeah. So people in the audience already knew. Susan got a text from Sandy.
Yeah. I mean,
Good
I don't
Lord.
know exactly how many knew, or if anybody else said anything to other people. But when I got there, I thought, I'm going to go talk to, like, I really thought it was, I didn't know that they released this stuff before so that the
Right.
press can
Yeah.
drop it
Right.
as soon as the show comes down. So I went to, I said to Lucy, who would be the president of the Jesse Awards? And I think it's probably said on the program. And she said, "Oh, there's my friend Danielle. She's one of the jury members. She's also has her finger on the pulse of everything film and theater. She just knows everything." So I went up to her and I said, "Danielle, what the heck? I don't know if you know this, but I read this press release. I read the awards. You know, somebody blurped this out someplace, and I think I was a little bit aggressive with Danielle because I was a little bit pissed off.
Yeah.
And but she said no. A lot of people.
Who
Oh,
knows?
man.
Anyway, so that's
That's a fun story.
yeah.
My thought is that you know who the big winner is? The big winner is the Belfry. So she's getting a Jessie for the Arts Club production. The Belfry didn't spend any money in the Arts Club production. They're now running. They should
Yeah.
see a boost to tickets.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot, Belfry. Way to
Yeah.
go.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
see little banners over the posters. Jesse
Jesse
Award
Yeah.
winning.
Exactly.
That's what I
Nice.
mean. That
Yeah.
wasn't even their production, but they're just reaping the
Yeah.
wind. It's nice.
And the other one in KJ reports is intimacy coordinator stuff. Do you want to talk about that just for a sec or not?
Absolutely. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's give the background, though. So our listeners don't know any of this background. So.
Yes, okay. So I was in Canal Flats for a week. I was shooting a little movie. Anyway, it involved a simulated rape scene, but it's actually between husband and wife, sort of a culty kind of husband and wife thing. So anyway, an intimacy coordinator is brought in. So I texted my fellow shed doggies, and they seemed to be quite interested in the fact that was going on. So I believe an intimacy coordinator on film sets and theater came out of the Me Too movement. I'm pretty sure.
There's a question how long such a position existed for. I can tell you, I was pretty surprised that you should be in a production that would require you to sign a intimacy waiver form.
Yeah.
Just think at this part of our golden years that such a thing should be an issue for us.
And this is from an AI overview, just so you know.
Okay.
Intimacy coordinator is a professional in film, television, and theater who advocates for actors during scenes with nudity, simulated sex, or other intimate physical contact. They act as a liaison between actors and the production team, helping to create a safe environment, clarify communication, and choreograph the intimate moments according to the script and performance comfort levels. Their work is built on pillars of context, consent, communication, choreography, and closure. And
Oh, they're trying to make them all start with the letter C. It seems to me.
did.
Alliterative?
So there's key responsibilities and the 5 pillars. So that's what they do, right? So early in the production, the coordinator texted me and said, we should talk. And I said, oh, I haven't even met the director. I won't talk to you until I at least meet the director. I thought it was odd that she wanted to talk with me and my fellow actor and the director at the same time.
Because it is kind of fun to worry about who has the conch, so to speak. Like,
Yeah.
the director wants a certain look, but the coordinator's a bit concerned. So if the coordinator gets to the actor first, the director's receiving pushback before he or she's even said what they want.
Certainly possible, yeah. Anyway, she did it. We were shooting in Canal Flats. We were staying in Fairmont Hot Springs, a little
Don't you know?
suburb of Canal Flats. Anyway, she called me and I said, yes, let's talk. And she just said, is there anything that I should know before we get into this? I think that's,
This is your intimacy coordinator now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And anyway, she just, it was all very pleasant. So let me say that there was an intimacy coordinator in West Side Story who came in, and it was mostly just for the kissing, but I think she was involved with, I had to slap Tony at the end, right, as Doc slaps Tony. And I don't know if there's a fight coordinator, of course, and I don't know if I think she was sort of just saying you're comfortable with everything, right? And the receiving,
That's
receiver.
quite fun just to think about even that, like that there's overlap between a fight coordinator and an intimacy coordinator.
Yeah. So and also in West Side Story, there was a big group thing, and I'm not sure because in dance, like you're always touching each other, right? And so everybody sort of went around in a circle and said where touching is fine and where it isn't fine. Well, there would be very few that would say you can touch me anywhere kind of thing. But, the women were very particular about, I mean, I've seen it in theater before, but it hasn't involved me. So anyway, I'm given, so this is actually me on top of a girl in the act of intercourse, right? Mm-hmm. It's focusing on the girl. You're not going to actually see the humpy kind. Well, you get an idea of it, and I wore a singlet, tidy whities, appropriate for the time, socks, but everything else, like I stripped down in front of, and my character demands that this guy watch. So that's kind of the point of the scene, is getting the guy to watch, because I know he's kind of interested in this young lady. So I get 2 pairs of tidy whities. So one goes on, and then a jock strap, and then the other to cover the jock strap so you can't see it.
Yep.
When we actually got into position, she gets this little, like a soccer ball that's sort of smaller, softer, but it's sort of half deflated, and that's like a barrier between me and her.
Yeah.
And she just, and she says, do you want to use this? And she said yes to start, and then we didn't use that because I really didn't actually lay down on top of her, like maybe our chests kind of touched. But, and it's sort of really weird.
It is really weird.
Like to actually go through that, right? Because you don't want to be, I mean, I've played creeps and pedophiles and stuff, right? And I don't want, never in any kind of scenes like that, but I don't want to make this actress feel awful about me personally, right? So well, in my head, I'm thinking I got to be just really careful about all things that I do.
Well, it really I guess that's kind of the point, is to really super heighten everybody's consciousness of every little tiny mechanical bit.
Right. And because the tiniest mistake can turn into like harassment or inappropriate blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of things. Anyway, that's about it for that story. I mean, it's sort of a fascinating little experience.
So you used to act as your own intimacy coordinator because you would be careful.
Yeah, because I remember in a thing called Family Sins with Kirstie Alley, I was her husband, but I was intimate with the oldest the oldest daughter, and that I would go visit her at night. And I seem to remember, maybe there wasn't any actual physical contact, but I can't remember. Nobody's really concerned about it. Like before the Me Too movement, I'm trying to think what they would do in a sex scene, and I think you would just make sure that the two actors were comfortable with each other. But what if they hated each other, right?
Yeah, and I think sometimes some of the directors were pretty bad about encouraging.
Yeah.
That's what I meant about awareness. Like, on the one hand, in the past, you probably would have had a little conversation with whomever. So how are we going to do this with your co-actor?
Yeah.
And you would have agreed in whatever kind of way. And yes, there would have been the danger that somebody was agreeing to something they weren't comfortable with or didn't really want to. Absolutely. But with this process, you could have two actors going into it with full comfort, full intent to just do. It's not a big deal. But by the time you get done, with all
the
of that stuff, you're just acutely conscious of every little thing.
Yeah, there are some actors who push back and don't want one mutually, the two of them, and
Yeah.
apparently that's not an option anymore. The studios are going, no, you
Yeah.
are having one. I don't care what you say. I guess
Yeah.
that way they can avoid some lawsuits, I think.
It would sure
if
make
possible.
it would sure demand much more of you of an actor to then look passionate or interested or loving when you've got all this mechanical stuff grinding
So,
through your head.
as an actor, do you need to, like, just in normal acting, do you never forget that you're acting, right? Like,
Oh, if I do, I'm flying above the clouds.
yeah, because it's just a weird. You'd have to be in some kind of fugue state where you could remember your lines, yet think you're not acting. Like it's. But when you're doing one of these kind of scenes, and there's so much at stake,
Yeah.
like how can you act?
Well,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. It's
well, that's
so
my
much harder.
question.
Yeah. Well, that's what acting's all about.
Yeah,
Right,
okay,
James?
that's the magic, isn't
But
it?
I
like there's no method acting there.
That's
You-
right. Yeah. But I did ask her, and in Canada, I'm not sure. She got a 6-month certification wherever you do that, but wherever she did it was SAG-AFTRA in the States accredited this place. I don't know that Canada is quite caught up with that. I know there's got to be some certification, but they might just go on the SAG-AFTRA guidelines. I'm not sure. And she did say, yes, there were people over 60 taking the course, Skinny.
Yeah, and listeners, he's mentioning this because I had, because I'm just endlessly witty and amusing, expressed keen interest in becoming an intimacy coordinator. Just the job title alone. You're at a party. Yeah, I'm an intimacy coordinator, in case you were.
yeah.
But it was, I kind of, having heard more of what they do, no, I 100% do not want that job. That just sounds like the most awkward, cringiest
Yeah.
thing ever in the world to have to do.
And I think they were all women who were participating. Not that.
Nah, it just doesn't, that part, okay, whatever. They're probably better at it than I would ever be for sure. But just, like I say, that whole mechanical thing, eesh. Interesting though. And yeah, if there's people out there listening to us that are in our demographic and you're thinking, where is the excitement? Where is the interest? Don't worry. You yourself could be signing a waiver, an intimacy waiver at some point.
I could just see an SNL sketch with a male intimacy coordinator.
Exactly.
And kind of tipping off that he's being turned on by all this, right?
The whole thing just sounds, I'm glad I'm not having to do it. Clearly, not hard to imagine the reason for why it's necessary.
It's got to be almost 100% women if...
I don't know. I don't know either. I think that men would be more challenged to do a good, sensitive job.
Well, I think a lot of
position.
women would be uncomfortable with men in that position, that's all.
Yeah, which again is kind of a sexist thing to say, I think.
Is what?
A sexist thing to say. The assumption is that men are not as sensitive to those situations as women are, male actors or male coordinators. And I don't know if that's in general, though, like most stereotypes.
I don't think it's sexist to say that women would be uncomfortable with men as intimacy coordinators. It's just a fact, not so much as a...
Yeah,
is it politically correct to say no, but is it true to say, yeah, it's pretty well, absolutely.
It's the
certain.
same as who are the perpetrators of sexual harassment. It's going to be
mostly men. Yeah.
and that's not a sexist thing to say, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Huh, all right, that's a nice one, KJ. Got any other...
no. Oh, I have one little snapper for you guys. What is the counterpoint to muse? If someone is your muse, what are you to a muse? Not a
like as in
progeny?
it's not the musee, but that's what you mean.
Yeah.
kind of
What
thing?
is that word?
Oh, wow, interesting. I don't know. There is such a word?
Is there?
Oh,
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
okay.
You are the muses.
It's kind of like if you're a Svengali,
Yeah.
who is
Apprentice?
your subject?
Yeah, I'm going disciple. I'm going,
Oh, disciple.
Disciple.
That's
apostle maybe. So those kinds of things where you're,
The inspired.
inspiré, musée. I don't know. I don't have anything in my head for sure.
The amused.
Nothing but whistling
I
wind.
wonder if amuse is related to muse.
Oh, look.
Yep, don't know. Well, speaking of soccer, Sue and I watched the first playoff game for the Vancouver Rise.
Heard about it.
Yeah, so we were there at the stadium in Burnaby, and the way it works is you take the total score of the two games to decide who won. And what I found was that the audience seemed to be not aware of that, the crowd. And even the teams themselves may be a little bit unaware of it because they're up 2-0 at halftime. And I'm thinking, keep going, you guys. Make it 4-0. Like, build up a score reserve. But they started playing like a team that's up 2-0, being more conservative, taking much longer to do the throw-ins and the kicks. In fact, our goalie got called on taking too long one time, got a yellow card for, it's time to do, the goalie's got possession, they set the ball down, they're going to do the kick, they're taking their time, and finally the ref puts up a yellow card. It ended up being 2-1. But the thing was that Ottawa came out after the first half. They came out like a whole new team. And I thought, man, that's when a good coach makes a difference. They go off at halftime. You guys have been killed out there. Like, Vancouver was really dominating the game. And all of a sudden, everything was like magic for Ottawa. I could not believe what a big difference that made. And so that might have had more to do with why is our team taking so long. Maybe it's because, holy smokes, man, we're going to get scored on by this team, so let's try and keep possessions and let's try and slow things down.
Our opponents have the rhythm right now. We got to stall that business.
Yeah, so
I'm trying to work out in my head, is there any possible way, and I don't think there is, but it took me all this time. Like, if they go into Ottawa and win 6-5, they're still going to win.
If they go into Ottawa and tie, they're going to win because they're up by 1 goal right now.
Yeah, it's total goals. Because my first thought was, does that mean they could go win a game but still lose on total goals? But no, I don't think it does.
But as a season ticket holder, I'm just not a sports guy in general. And as a season ticket holder, I seem to be a sports guy. Like, I've chosen my favorite player on the team. Like, I would buy her jersey if I could. In fact, I looked at it, but they're so expensive. Like, even with a discount. Oh,
there you go. With a Fairweather fan.
With a discount, a jersey is $140.
First he says, if I could, I would. Then he says, really, I could, but they're just too expensive.
And the funny thing is, like, she's Jasmine Spencer. She's 5'4", right? And I would have a Spencer jersey. I think it would be just awesome, but I don't think they'll have them in 2XL.
Oh, they will.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. They might only have 3, but let's look around yourself in the crowd next time you're there and see how many people look like they're 5'4".
Yeah, I've yet to see any men wearing Spencer jerseys.
Well, but
I haven't. I mean, I should look around and just see if there are guys wearing jerseys. I mean, I would get a Spencer jersey if I could. And I kind of regret not having done it when I had a chance because we had the season ticket holders get 35% off day. Yeah. But I'll have a look.
Well, I fully commend you.
Was she your favorite back then, though?
Oh, the whole season. Like, she's a defender. And we learned halfway through, we learned actually fairly recently that she's from the States, from New York, and she has been a forward on her teams. And they're a higher end league down there, the NWSL. She's a defender, but you'll see her suddenly end up in a forward position. Like, she'll see an opportunity, and I've just been cheering for her to score. I don't. If she scored, it was in the first game or something like that. But just cool to watch. Really good player.
Must have crazy speed.
Yeah. Like the forwards, you know how they are. Those forward wingers.
Yeah.
They tend to be the fastest runners on the team because a good thing to do is to pop the ball into the corner, and they will race down there. She'll keep right up with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, does great steals and stuff. Occasionally she'll just do a kick that goes right to the other team. Like, we all have lapses, right? But she's really a fun player to watch.
Well, I commend you on your enthusiasm. In spite of teasing you about the jersey thing, just your interest in having one is commendable, I think. Just because,
I've just never been in a position where I go, oh, I really like so-and-so.
Yeah.
It just doesn't occur to me in sports in general.
No, but if you're into it, that's this far, and it heightens your enjoyment to do it, man.
I don't know. Any shows you guys been watching?
What do you got, Rich?
We finished The Diplomat. It's really good. Got nothing to say about it, though.
I watched Black Hawk Down for some reason. Pretty intense.
Is that an old movie?
Yeah, it is pretty old. And it talks
Meaning
about
2000s or something like that? Or-
Yeah, if not in the 90s, can't remember. But basically, it talks about Somalia, Mogadishu, U.S. intervention there goes bad, guys die. And they refer through the movie, it's supposed to be gritty and authentic. So the good guys, the Rangers and the Delta Force guys, are referring to the locals as skinnies all the way through. And I thought, I'm sure they did actually do that in reality and probably still do, but I wonder if you could get away with that today, making a whole film where a group of people are referred to by a derogatory nickname. I wonder if you could do that. So there, mission accomplished. We've set you all up to face eternity. Happy memories, time in the shed with us. RJ is daydreaming about volume levels and everything for this, but I can just... Sadly, my voice is turned into ASMR for RJ. I don't know, maybe not. For many of you, probably the same. Too bad, we're finished. Happy to have you here. Hope you'll come again. Take care of yourself in the meantime, and boys, sign out.
See you. Bye.
See you shit side.
Attaboy, RJ. Anything? You look like you want to say something.
This is an intro, right? I honestly could not.
Zoned out.
I couldn't really tell at all.
Zoned out.
We're in the shed. I guess that means intro.
Okay, all right.